Right, guys, welcome back to another interview on mmaunhinged. I'm joined once again by Harry Hardwick. How's it going?
It is going fantastic. Everything's good. But apology for anyone watching about the terrible lighting on my part. I am sat in a parked car outside a gym, and I don't want to move in case my signal gets worse.
Any moment we can catch you, have you on the podcast. I appreciate, and at the moment, I appreciate your time.
No worries, man. No worries.
I mean, with that big win off the weekend, how can I not appreciate your time? Yeah, truly a fantastic win, and we'll start off with that. We'll talk about obviously the big elephant in the room, the win against Steve Aimable. Now we're looking back at the performance. I would say that was the best performance in your career to date. Is that how you feel?
Yeah, 100%. Definitely still problems. I still did a shit ton of stuff wrong. I feel like he's a tough guy, but I was a few better decisions away from finishing him. But yeah, I'm happy with it. Like, everything went really well. I've still somehow come out with you can't really see it in this lighting, come out with a cut and a black eye. I don't know how. I'm probably the only person in the world who can 30-26 someone on every judge's scorecard and then still come out with a fucking battered face.
Nate Diaz could never.
Fair dues. I'm a maybe it's a brothers thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, as you talked about, it's a fantastic performance, and as again you said there that sometimes you said that the opening, the display, the finishing, maybe you could have got the finish. There were a few times where you rocked him really badly on the feet. Did you feel like maybe you could have got the finish that night?
Yes, well, you definitely definitely could have. I don't. I don't believe in the saying, "Oh, you did your best," or "I've done my best," or anything. Like I don't fuck with that. Like no one has ever done their best at something ever. Like there is always improvements to be made in anything. Like, so I definitely feel like just different things with shot selection. Again, he was tough, and he was making it really difficult. So on the fly in situations like that, the moment can pass you really quickly. But yeah, I definitely feel like just slightly better shot selection on the feet, and maybe getting him to circle, because he was circling a lot to his left. If I'd have maybe got him to circle to his right, I could have circled him into some more stuff. And then I think when I had his back, when I managed to get the choke kind of under, I think I rushed to change my grip, and that's when he managed to grip fight. I could have maybe held out for a little bit longer, but it's all stuff to work on. It's all good. These are good things to have to correct, instead of, oh, I was getting my ass beat and I got stuck in bad positions loads.
Yeah, we said earlier, you're 30-26 someone, but you're still coming out with stuff to improve on. I love that mentality. It just shows that you just want to continue going forward with the momentum that you got now.
Yeah, and it's like, I love training, and I love the lifestyle of training and getting better and all that kind of stuff. I'm not obsessing over the result as much. Like it's still there. Like I still really fucking want to win. I still think winning's mega important, but I have I focus on the performance more than anything, and then the results will follow.
Yeah, and absolutely. The results have been fantastic as of late, and I feel like this. After this one, I feel like it's undeniable that the Cage Warriors is definitely going to give you that shot against Paul Hughes next.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Paul Hughes will be wanting to turn it around too quickly, and I want in on the December 31st card. So I'm kind of hoping Paul Hughes fucks off to the UFC, because let's be honest, I'm not here to bring anyone down. He fucking deserves it. Like it's unfortunate that him and Vucenic had to fight, really, because both of those guys are UFC caliber. Like I'm UFC caliber. Fucking, there's tons of UFC caliber guys in the Cage Warriors featherweight division right now, and it's kind of unfortunate that we're all out here stopping each other get to the UFC. But yeah, if the UFC snags him up soon, then I'll be fucking pestering Ian Dean like, get me on the December 31st show. Get me on the December 31st show. It's the Europe versus American. Just find some fucking American and I'll smash him and get a belt. Just I'll do, you know, I'll do what George did to fucking Kyle Driscoll. I'll just be like, smash him and send them home sad on the flight. If that's not the case, then a festive bake every day in December it is, and I'll fight Paul Hughes at some point in the new year.
An advent calendar of festive bakes.
I'm just a festive bake sandwich.
I haven't tried one of them, but maybe I'll have to give it a go.
I don't think anyone's tried one of them. I've made it up right now.
I mean, last time we spoke, you told me about Palmo, so I haven't tried one yet, and I haven't come down to Middlesbrough to try one, but it's on my bucket list.
You definitely need to do it. Definitely need to do it. I haven't had one since my fight yet, and it's a travesty. That is like through, I guess, some fault of my own by dating someone who lives a million miles down south. But I have not been. I've not been back to Middlesbrough since my fight. I went straight from London to Aylesbury, and I've stayed in Aylesbury. But I'm back up to Middlesbrough tomorrow. I'm getting a Palmo.
I can't wait. But I've honestly, I've got to go down to Middlesbrough. I've been told Central Park by George. I think is it George or maybe you?
I think we'd have both recommended that. That is a solid. Like, I think that's the place to go. You get a plain one, and you get it with garlic dip. You don't get it for your first one. You don't go toppings because there's loads of fancy toppings and shit you can get on a Palmo. Those are for Palmo veterans. For Palmo slags. But for your Palmo virginity, it's got to be a plain Palmo, garlic dip on the side.
How did we end up here? I knew we'd end up here, but how did we end up here? Back to the fight. Obviously, the fight was the story of the fight was your Borough hands. They were working fantastically. They were working. They were clipping them at any point. I thought obviously you were in control of the fight for 15 minutes. Did you think that was going to be the case heading into the fight, that your hands were just going to be a little bit too much for him?
Yes, I didn't think that it'd be there'd be that much of a disparity. I feel like I was more planning on like playing on the back foot and like subverting his expectations because he expected an aggressive pressure fighting swarmer. But by doing that, it opened up my countering opportunities, which then put him in a position where I could be an aggressive swarmer more effectively than if I'd have just gone for him. But like, in all honesty, like, because it was like, I think before the 1-2 that really hurt him, I do remember throwing a right hand that kind of like scuffed him across his ear a little bit, like it kind of missed but hit still, and then I like, but like honestly, the 1-2 that hurt him really bad, I didn't even really feel it landing. Like I was just sort of there, my body did it, and then I was like, oh, he's wobbled, and then I start throwing some stupid like choppy punches, and then he grabs hold of a single leg, and I'm like, okay, right, breathe, separate, just keep on him, breathe, separate, keep on him, just keep working him over. Don't rush anything, don't be an idiot. And then just that kind of thing. And then I just kept working him over. Like I took him down by accident because it was like I was just pressuring him and he threw a left kick and I just caught it just out of instinct. And I was like, I've caught the kick and then I've done the takedown. We were talking to each other a bit during the fight. But when I took him down after that, I was like, this helps you. I was like, fuck's sake, this helps you. And he was like, yeah, I'm just going to hold on. And then I started throwing like stupid hammer fists. But then the fact that I was like, oh shit, I might be letting him off the hook a bit here, made me like get a little bit more aggressive with my like pressure and my ground and pound. And then that forced an error out of him where I managed to get the body triangle. And then I was just making sure I was still doing damage there. Like in that situation, if I'd have just got the body triangle and was just attacking the chokes, that wouldn't have been it would have been enough to win that portion of the round, but it wouldn't have been enough in like the general scheme of the fight. You know what I mean? Like it'd have allowed him recovery time and stuff. So even when I got the body trial, I was like, right, I've got to fucking keep doing damage. I've just got to consistently be doing damage for the rest of the fight. I can't let him back in really.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a fantastic fight, and this is a fantastic way for you to head into 2023. I know you said you might get another fight in December, or on the Team Europe versus Team USA card. So if that does go down there, that'll be phenomenal because it'll be a very, very good year for yourself. I know you had that draw in there, but now you got after that draw. Sorry, after that against I forgot his name, Federico Prezzelli, I think.
Federico Pasquale.
Pasquale, yeah. So what was the feeling after that draw and obviously heading into this fight? I know that obviously the fight against Federico, it was quite a tough one.
Yeah, it was a weird one. Like I'm not gonna like. It was definitely a draw that I sort of felt like I won and progressed me in my career, even though like I do fully understand the scoring. Like I think a draw is correct. You could definitely say that the draw is the right call. You could also make the argument that I won. One thing you definitely can't do is say that he won the fight. A win is within the sort of like realms of argument with me, but a draw is the best possible result he could have got after that fight. But it was odd. I still held my head high. There's still a lot to be proud of, I guess. But I don't know. It doesn't change the fact that, like, after a win, I'm still mega critical. It's just win, lose or draw. I'm still pretty critical. I'm still very I still do focus a bit on the shit and like what wasn't good. So yeah, I still like. It was after talking to Ian Dean and talking to a few other people. Like, even though it was a draw, it still moves me forward in my career. And then I was like, well, fuck it, I want to fight Steve Aimable. So I asked for the Aimable fight, and I asked for it specifically on the November 4th card because that's the earliest one I could get, and it would leave me the most time to between that fight and a potential December 31st fight. Like I've had this plan thought out. So like, so yeah, could be a good, and especially obviously if my grandmaster plan, which terrible idea planning things in MMA to be fair, but if my grandmaster plan comes off and I get the title fight on December 31st, it will be just a fucking mint year for the Hardwicks in general. Because let's be real, George is going to murder Bungard. Like Bungard there is areas of where Chris Bungard is very dangerous, but then there are things that he's quite vulnerable to, things that George is world class at. George is going to kill him. I like Chris Bungard; he's a fucking sound guy, but he gonna die.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that fight a little bit later on, but before we get there, just back to the December 31st card. If you do get that shot, I would love to ask you how does that fight? I know it's early and we're very very early talking about it, but how does that fight go down? But hopefully against Paul Hughes.
Paul Hughes won't be doing December 31st. Paul Hughes would be a New Year thing. If I end up fighting Paul Hughes, it's a tough fucking fight. It'll be a 5 rounds fucking drag it out hard as shit fight. I'm very well prepared for hard as shit, blood and guts, drag them out fights. But that's what it'll be. That is like mentally, I'm psyched and I'm ready for that. But I don't think Paul Hughes will be ready for this. I don't think he'll be wanting to turn it around for December 31st. I feel like Paul and his management will be trying to get a UFC shot now. Because at the start of the year, he was saying he wants to be in the UFC by the end of the year. And in the cage after the Jordan fight, he was making it very apparent that that's what he wants to do. So I'm not going to like go crazy calling him out and all this kind of shit because like if I just call him out and then he vanishes, I'm like, well, that was pointless. But again, like, especially these people who are in the same like similar neck of the woods to me, like Jordan, Paul, Hendon, fucking even guys who are like, I never want to bring anyone down. Like the Cage Warriors featherweight division is a fucking Shark Tank. It's actually frustrating sometimes when you watch, like, I don't know, some UFC prelims and there's some featherweights on, and you're just like, these are wank. Why can't I be fighting these instead of these fucking savages that I'm getting matched up against within Cage Warriors? Like, let's be fucking real. Like, think about, I don't know, Charles Rosa, fucking Billy Quarantino, Darren Elkins. Think of guys like that. Those are all UFC guys. Now, can you honestly say any of those three stand a fucking chance in hell of taking even a round from me, Jordan, Paul, or Hendon?
I think that's a valid case. Definitely,
Like,
Charles Rosa, Billy Quintia, and Darren Elkins. He's a veteran. He's got them crafty
they would
tricks, and he's been
all
around.
get
But
killed by all of us.
I think that's a valid point. I do agree. I got to agree. Jordan is phenomenal. Paul is phenomenal. You're phenomenal. I absolutely agree.
Like, where the fuck, like, Paul said it quite well. He was saying, like, how it sucks to have beaten Jordan and, like, held him back. Like, we are the best fucking division outside of the UFC. We are. Like, we go to the UFC, we murder anyone. Like, and I don't even think it gets competitive until you start getting into the top 5. I'm being deadly serious on that. Like, so yeah, but that's just me saying my case. Like, Jordan's a UFC caliber fighter. I'm a UFC caliber fighter. Paul's a UFC caliber fighter. Fucking, like, Hendon is that Swedish fella who knocked out Harilla. Harilla is. It's like, it's fucking mental. Why did I have to be this way?
I mean, you can't be lightweight.
Yeah, I can't be lightweight. Fucking,
it's bantamweight or.
I mean, I could make bantamweight. Say, like, I might go for a double champ thing. Who knows?
I don't want to put it into your head.
I could do it. It'd be fucking shit, but I could do it.
No Palmos for at least a year.
Give over. That wouldn't happen.
All right, quickly. My last question. You talked about earlier. Obviously, your brother defending the belt. A very quick turnaround, and I love it. I love how active he's been as well. Very quick turnaround, defending the belt against Chris Bungard. Obviously, you talked about it briefly. You said he's going to murder Chris Bungard.
Yeah, like, so some of the odds some of the things, like, outside of this might be, if you're looking at it from an outside perspective, might be a little bit in Bungard's favour. Bungard was already getting ready for a fight against Gavin Hughes in Manchester, and then that fell through, and he kind of ended up in this title fight. But George has only had 3 training weeks for it. He only found out about 3, like, a couple of weeks ago. But the thing with this is George was in a very happy stage, or like a stage I quite like being in, where you're doing a lot of strength training, you're just getting really strong, but there's a lot of people fighting around you, so you're still having to, like, muck in and do fight intensity spars, but not all of your spars are fight intensity. So you're in this, like, stage where you're like, you're kind of like getting the best of both worlds between being in camp and out of camp. And then he said he was feeling really fast and his weight was coming down. And it feels like he was saying this before he had the fight booked, like literally like the days before. He was like, God, it would be a shame not to have a fight soon. I feel like I'm peaking out of camp. It'd be a bit of a waste here. And then what do you know? The next day, Ian Dean gives him a text and it's like, Chris Bungard, November 20th, Cage Warriors Unplugged. And he was just like, that's fucking perfect. That's literally perfect. Everything's going fucking sick in George's preparation. He got, like, big shout out to him and Leon, because like obviously Leon's got a fight December 3rd on FCC, and him and Leon came out to London to help me out. And man, like I was so impressed with the limited resources they had, the fucking work they put in with like the tiny amount of space, the not much mats, all this kind of shit in the hotel gym being a bit wank and them having to fucking find a commercial gym nearby because they needed somewhere with a squat rack and stuff. But like they are putting in fucking good work. There is something special at MFA at the minute, to be fair. Like I think our gym's record this year is 9-1-1. And you know, the draw was my fucking fight of the year bullshit against Pasquale. The loss was a fight where Leon dropped the guy, and you know Leon was pretty sick. He won't make the excuse, but I'll make it for him. Pretty sick and felt a bit shit, and he still managed to drop the guy and like lost like a razor thin decision. But other than that, it's just been dominant this year. And the good thing is it's setting us up for even better next year. Like we've got a very young squad. It's like a lot of lads making the debuts. A lot of lads could be getting ready to make the debuts next year. You know, things go according to plan. Me and George will be making our UFC debuts next year. But fucking MFA is like it's something special at the minute, and we just got to keep the ball rolling.
Yeah, I completely agree. You got a fantastic 2023 coming up. A very, you know, I would say this is the beginning of it all coming all together. Should we say? 2023 is a fantastic year for yourself, George. Middlesbrough. You're gonna light up the city a little bit.
It's not a city. It's
town.
The best.
I did that last time.
Yeah, I actually, because we applied for city status. I don't know what that would get us. And we got shut down.
Is it chapel?
I think there's some cathedral thing, but I don't think that's actually true. Because like,
I don't know.
We're on the edge of being city status. But I'm just like, I don't want to be a shitty city. I'm glad we're an amazing town. Like I'm in Aylesbury at the minute, and there's fuck all here. Like like. You know, like there's loads of other towns that are just wank, like Luton, Dunstable, fucking just shitholes. Whereas Milton Keynes, I've not really been in it enough to know. Is also just
it's terrible. It's terrible.
That's the thing with Middlesbrough. It's a shithole, but there's like a character to it, and I can't put my finger on it, but yeah, there's something in the water in Middlesbrough. Obviously, it's Abdul Mohammed and Middlesbrough Fighting Company. There's obviously Peter Irving, who's
Peter Irving.
Got, you know, it's like Newcastle Fight Centre and stuff. They've got Big Mike Chamu, so Peter Irving, probably very soon, going to have 3 Cage Warriors champs. Yeah, all is good. Future's looking great. Hopefully, I can get to the UFC and get a UFC bonus, and then have to spend it all on a horse for my girlfriend.
Absolutely love it. Peter Irving, fantastic coach. Newcastle Fight Centre. Michael Tichamu. That guy is an animal.
He got that Baba African power.
Right. I feel like Will Drago Curry. It's a tough fight for him. A very experienced. He's going up in experience fighting, but I still think. I don't know what it is. I think Michael Tichamu can clip him, and that it could be the end of the fight.
Yeah, I mean, just anyone who struggles getting their head out the way of strikes is going to struggle against Mike.
Yeah,
that is just the way it be.
Yeah, he's massive. He's massive for middleweight. I have seen him weighing at like 183, 182. So
to be fair, he isn't huge, but he's started coming to the same strength and conditioning place as me and George, Unit 29, and he is filling into his frame a lot better now. Yeah. He feels a lot stronger, and his conditioning's improving. Like he is really benefiting from that. It's like that's what strength and conditioning is meant to do. It's not meant to be your most important part of your training by any means, and that's a good thing about Andy. He he doesn't think that. Like a lot of strength and conditioning coaches try and almost like take too much charge and too much credit. But Andy's like, what it is there to do is to boost it's there to act as a fucking booster. Your other training, it's there. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I got what you mean. Yeah. But thank you so much. An absolute pleasure, Harry. I wish you the best. I wish you best luck in December if you fight, and I hope you have a fantastic 2023. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Catch you soon.
Thank you very much. Merry Christmas. L'chaim, alhamdulillah, everything. Got to be inclusive. It's 2022. Dawkins bless or something. But yeah, thank you very much. Glad to be on.